Power is not given. It is taken. It moves in silence. It controls perception. Psychology of power. Master the mind. Control the game.
Intro la cero, la 1:40 power reveals character. In May 1940, Europe was collapsing. Nazi Germany had overrun Poland. France was falling. Belgium had surrendered. British forces were retreating from the beaches of Dunkirk. Across the English Channel, the threat of invasion felt imminent. The United Kingdom stood alone. Inside Parliament, uncertainty filled the air. Some leaders believed negotiation with Adolf Hitler was inevitable. Others feared total destruction. It seemed rational to compromise. But one man refused to surrender. His name was Winston Churchill. This is not simply the story of a wartime prime minister. It is the story of a leader shaped by failure, doubt, isolation, and depression, and how those struggles forged a psychology of defiance. Part 1, A Child of Expectation. 1:42, 3 o'clock. Churchill was born in 1874 into British aristocracy. Privilege surrounded him, but affection did not. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was distant and often critical. His mother, glamorous and socially active, was rarely present. At school, Churchill struggled academically. He was considered inattentive, even rebellious. Teachers described him as stubborn and unfocused. Yet beneath that exterior was a restless hunger from an early age. Churchill craved recognition. He longed to prove himself worthy of respect, worthy of influence, worthy of legacy. Psychologists often observe that children raised in emotionally distant environments develop a powerful drive for validation. They seek significance. They seek history. Churchill would carry that need into politics, not as insecurity, but as ambition. PART to failure and isolation, 3 o'clock to 4:30, before becoming a symbol of resilience. Churchill was seen as reckless. He changed political parties twice. He made controversial military decisions. During World War I, Gallipoli campaign became a catastrophic failure. Thousands died. His reputation suffered deeply. He resigned in disgrace and volunteered for military service on the front lines. For years afterward, he wandered politically isolated, dismissed, often ignored. He would later call this period his wilderness years. Yet during that isolation, Churchill saw danger others refused to acknowledge. He warned repeatedly about the rise of Adolf Hitler, about German rearmament, about the illusion of peace. Few listened. Failure did not silence him. It sharpened him. Isolation did not weaken him. It clarified him. Part 3, The Darkness Within. 4:30 to 5:50, Churchill privately referred to his depression as the Black Dog. He experienced profound emotional lows, moments of exhaustion, periods of deep doubt. Unlike many leaders who hide vulnerability, Churchill acknowledged his internal battles. He understood despair, not as theory, but as experience. Psychologists suggest that those who confront internal struggle often develop unusual resilience. They learn to endure storms within themselves, and because they have faced darkness privately, they are not paralyzed by darkness publicly. Churchill's inner battles did not break him. They prepared him. Part 4, May 1945, 50 to 7:30. When Churchill became Prime Minister in May 1940, Britain was facing potential annihilation. France was collapsing. The British Army had narrowly escaped destruction at Dunkirk. Some members of the War Cabinet urged negotiation. Churchill refused. He believed negotiation would mean submission, and submission would mean the end of Britain as a sovereign power. Instead, he chose language as resistance. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds, but shall never surrender. These were not merely political statements. They were psychological interventions. He transformed fear into defiance, despair into determination, uncertainty into unity. His speeches did not promise safety. They promised struggle. And that honesty built trust. Words became weapons. And morale became armor. Part 5, The Psychology of Defiance, 7:30 to 8:50. Why did Churchill refuse surrender when the odds were overwhelming? Because psychologically, he had already endured collapse. He had experienced humiliation, political exile, public criticism, military disaster. He had survived the destruction of his own reputation. So when national collapse threatened, he did not panic. He recognized the pattern. He had faced defeat before and endured it. Unlike leaders driven by restoration of lost pride, Churchill's motivation was not empire, it was survival through resistance. He did not promise victory. He promised endurance, and endurance in 1940 was revolutionary. Part 6, Legacy 850 to 950. Britain survived. The Royal Air Force held the skies during the Battle of Britain. The United States entered the war. The Allies advanced. History remembers Churchill as a symbol of resilience. Yet, leadership is rarely simple. In 1945, after victory in Europe, Churchill was voted out of office. The same public that celebrated him chose change. Power is temporary. Character is not. Churchill returned years later as Prime Minister once more, but it was 1940 that defined him. Not triumph, but refusal. Final reflection, 9:50 to 10:20. Some leaders rise from humiliation, seeking control. Others rise from failure, seeking defiance. Churchill understood fear because he had lived with it. He understood despair because he had felt it. And when history demanded resolve, he did not surrender. Power shapes history. Psychology shapes power.